Thank you for joining me. I want to discuss with you all things protein. By the end of the video, I want you to have a good understanding of how much protein you should eat, when you should eat it, what sources of protein you should be eating, and why you should be eating it. Why should you be eating protein? Whether you track it or not, your body needs protein. Your whole body is made up of proteins, amino acids, down to every single cell in your body contains amino acids. Therefore, your body needs protein coming in through your diet. If it wasn't getting that protein from dietary resources, it would have to start breaking its own tissue down in order to support its vital functions. Now, you're someone that trains, and muscle tissue is not a vital function in comparison to other functions of the body. So we want to make sure that we get enough protein. New proteins potentially means new cells. Hopefully for us, that means new muscle cells. Do you know what I mean? Protein can be also very helpful when you're in a calorie deficit because it is the most satiating out of the three macronutrients and therefore leaves you feeling a little bit more satiated when you've eaten it. And it also has the highest thermogenic effect, which means that it takes the body more calories to break down protein and distribute that out to the body than it does for fats and carbohydrates. So that means if you have a higher protein diet, your body burns more calories just having to distribute and digest that protein. So you're training hard, you're putting your muscles through a lot of tension at the gym, and you want to optimize for muscle growth. Therefore, you need to be taking in protein. So the next question is, how much protein should you be taking in on a daily basis? If you just want to be healthy and you're not fussed about optimizing muscle growth, then as long as you get a minimum of 0.3 grams per pound of body weight, you should be fine. But you're here because you want to optimize strength and muscle growth. Therefore, we want to be having a higher protein diet. Something more along the lines of around 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, especially if you're in a cutting phase. You might be able to even reduce that if you're at a maintenance or a bulking phase down to 0.8 grams per pound of lean body mass. You don't want to go too high on protein that it takes away from your other macronutrients because you still need to save room to make sure you're getting the minimum amount of fats and you're saving enough room for carbohydrates, which are really going to help you fuel your training and help you recover from your training as well. So you need to have a good balance of all three, but you need to be making sure you're not taking up too much protein because more protein is not always better after a certain point. So my suggestion is most people struggle to get enough protein in, is what I've seen working with clients. I suggest starting with around 0.8 grams per pound of estimated lean body mass. If you find that that's still a high target, then just start with a lower target and work your way up week to week until you get to that point. Have you seen people finish at the gym? First thing they do is neck a protein shake. Is that what you need to be doing? Is that the protein timing, the anabolic protein window that you need to be filling? The answer is not exactly no. It is important to get some protein in after you train, but you don't need to be necking a protein shake afterwards. You can if you want and you enjoy that being a part of your routine, but as long as you get a protein-rich meal within, several hours after the gym, you're going to be absolutely fine. What's more important than protein timing is your main protein target for the day. So your main protein target, whatever that is set to, is the most important thing. If you were to get that in one meal as opposed to 5, that's fine, you do whatever fits your preference. If you really want to optimize things, that's where you might start breaking it down and having it across smaller portions regularly throughout the day in about 5 servings. But like I said, the most important thing is getting your protein in whenever you can. Don't overthink it. If you really want to optimize things, it might make a small difference, but probably won't make that much difference, to be honest. And then lastly, what sources of protein should you be eating? Well, lean protein or lean meat is going to be the best bang for your buck. You're going to get a very high amount of protein in without any of the other added macronutrients like fats and carbohydrates, which means that you're saving enough room to have other food selections to go with that food source. Also, you're going to be keeping down saturated fat that comes with a lot of the other fatty meats, which is good because you don't want to go too high on saturated fat also. Low-fat dairy is amazing. It tastes great and it also can help you if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth as well. Very high in protein. Also, there's proteins in vegetables as well. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you may need to set your protein intake a little higher just because of the amino acid profiles of those foods. I don't want to get into that, that's another topic for discussion, but you may need to eat a little bit more protein on a daily basis to make sure you've got all your amino acids covered by having a variety of vegetable protein sources and then making sure it's a little higher. And then of course, supplementation as well. Protein powder is a very cheap and convenient way to help you get your protein in. At around 20 to 25 grams per serving, it can be really helpful to getting you to your protein target. So many of my clients struggle to get their protein intake up, and this can be a really helpful way to do it. There's nothing wrong with having a protein shake. It can be really helpful in you achieving your goal. One thing that I do want to also add is, if you have a specific goal, like you want to gain or lose weight, it's your calories that's the most important factor and not the protein intake. The protein intake is important, but it's secondary to the calories. And so here's what I mean. If, let's say, you are under on your protein for the day, you've gone over on your carbohydrates, that's okay, and you've met your fat. And you've met your calories for the day, but you're under on your protein, so you think, well, shall I have a protein shake then so I meet my protein target? The answer is no, because that is going to put you above and beyond your calorie intake for the day. And you've already met the calories, that's the most important thing. The protein comes secondary, so it's okay for it not to be for that day to have hit your protein. Anyway guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and there's going to be plenty more videos, helpful nutrition and gym training tips. And I will see you in the next video.